evidence the Prophet's saying.
You've got a hadith for that.
Bikru to sta'dhan. And I'm saying it to you in Arabic. Yeah, al-bikru to sta'dhan. Which mentioned
what I need to do is like later, like show me a link or something because I need that actually.
No problem. Which is why Shawkani and others have said that.
You can just say it. We'll catch it on
anyway.
camera.
Look,
just say the reference.
He's already said it.
I've just said it. So fine. So that's number one. Number two, we've said now, harming is not okay. So someone can ask the question which you did and I didn't answer it. So let me answer it now. You said, how do you determine if the person is able or capable for sexual intercourse? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in another hadith, he said, "Man tatabba wa lam yakun bit-tibbi ma'rufan fa asaba nafsan fa huwa dhamin." Whoever pretends to be a doctor and he's not actually a doctor, and then he harms somebody, then he is accountable. The Quran also says, "Fas'alu ahli dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun." Go and ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. Meaning here that Islam gives rights to doctors. And
specialists. Nothing to do with what I just said.
Of course it does. Let me tell you why.
Was Muhammad a doctor?
Let me explain what I'm saying. Because the question of harm, especially if we talk about physical harm, it seems to me to be a medicinal issue, right? So the question of, okay, if a person, like for example, she's 50, let's say in this country the consent is 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
All right. You are maybe like 21 years old, right? 22, something like that.
I'm 27, mate.
All right, you look young,
yeah,
which is very, very nice, yeah? A strapping young man like yourself, you know.
Please don't hit on me.
No,
I am not gay.
Okay, no problem. I'm not hitting on. If that's how you interpret hitting on, that's fine.
I'm joking.
Okay, no problem. No worries. I'm trying to pay you a compliment.
I know. It's a bit mean-spirited.
No problem. You don't need to apologize. All I'm going to say is that a man like yourself, right? You, for example, can have intercourse with a 16-year-old in this country, okay? Now, this 16-year-old might be emaciated. This individual might be malnourished, might be weak. You might be able to grab her like this and then the collarbones fall off, right? This might be a weak individual. Now, Islam would say, although it's legally possible for you and, I'm not going to say me, but just anybody to have, let me put it another way, right? You've got a 100-year-old woman.
Right.
There's no law that prevents me to have intercourse with a 100-year-old. But once again, if I go to the care homes and we're outside and and then honestly, and then I get, and
would a 100-year-old know what sex is?
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll be able to comprehend what sex is.
Yeah.
They would know what marriage is.
Fine.
A 6-year-old girl wouldn't know what marriage is. A 9-year-old girl wouldn't know what sex was.
No, let me
explain. Aisha was playing with dolls.
Okay, now hold on. You're going from one thing to another. You're going
really
from
not.
All I'm saying to you, the paradigm of Islam says this: if you have intercourse with a 15-year-old, 14-year-old who is before the age of consent, but she's voluptuous and big hips and ready for action, where there's no harm, but then when you have sex with a 99-year-old and you do it with her one time, she drops dead and goes to the graveyard, Islam would say actually one of them is more morally incorrect than the other.
And Islam would say that silence is her consent. You could have sex with the old woman and you could have sex with a 15-year-old.
No, it wouldn't.
And in fact, it also says in your hadith that anybody younger than 15 is a child.
No, listen. If by having sex, no, Islam would say if by having sex with a 95-year-old woman or 80-year-old woman, you're going to cause her considerable harm and or injury, which you would agree with, right? That such a thing would not be allowed in Islam. I'm saying the same thing applies to women who are making their transition to puberty. Do you understand the Islamic concept now? So although legally, for example, if I wanted to have a marriage contract with a 95-year-old, I can. I mean, it's going to be valid. Now, the thing is, it might be valid, but the rights now that I'm going to be owed in a normal marriage contract are not going to be the same. I can't say, the angels are going to be cursing you if you don't give me intercourse every night the way I like it, yeah? So, do you understand?
So explain to me why Muhammad didn't follow these principles, because he married
I'm saying that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the one who established those principles.
Hear what I'm saying? She had sex with her at 9 years old. By the way, if you look in history, when 9-year-old girls or people, even a bit older, like 13, when they were pregnant, they would die. So your God was okay with your prophet having sex with a child who could potentially die.
He said himself, and he's a man of his word. He said, when we're done with Islam, we move to Christianity. I'm saying, fine, he doesn't mind, because he doesn't. But what I'm saying to you is, as follows. That you said these principles were established by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you understand this?
According to who?
Now, according to all the fuqaha, according to the usuliyun.
No, according to men who came hundreds of years later who didn't even know your prophet.
Okay, no problem. So,
what do you mean no problem? So your religion doesn't come from Muhammad, it doesn't come from Allah, it comes from people who existed hundreds of years later.
No, but what I'm saying is, why that's important though, what's your name again?
My name's John.
John.
Yeah, John.
So John, the reason why this is still important is because these individuals are not affected by Western apologetics or liberalism, because they came way before.
I'm not even talking about Western apologetics.
I understand that.
God.
No, I'm saying, hold on,
I'm questioning your God's morality.
What I'm saying to you is this. I am saying to you clearly that those scholars that came before time, it wouldn't have been socially unacceptable for them to make that proclamation in their times. So they had no motivation to lie upon the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in that manner. In fact, some of their opinions, if we had brought them to the public, would be seen as aberrational, to say the least. The point I'm making to you is that yes, there has been a group of scholars that have interpreted the religion of Islam in the way that I've just said. But
what stage of consent is on then? What would you consider it?
There isn't an age of consent in Islam.
So why is it there's a hadith that's saying anybody who's younger than 15 is a child?
Okay, so the Malikis, for example, that's the upper limit, not the higher limit.
Right.
So in other words, for the Malikis, there's a difference of opinion here. But for example, if you look at all four madhabs, the Shafi'i, the Malikis, the four madhabs of Islam, the Hanafis and who else? Who did I mention?
Hanbali, Salah, is it Salah? No, that's Salah.
And the Hanbalis, right? If you look at all those, they have minimum and maximum ages. In fact, for example, Ibn Qudama mentions, the minimum age is 9 years old. You can't be an adult. You cannot even be an adult before 9. That's the Shafi'i view and that's the Hanbali view. So
that's actually more wicked than what your prophet's saying.
No.
Because your prophet's basically saying anybody who's younger than 15 is a child. But this guy Hanbali is basically saying this.
No, let me explain. Do you want to speak properly or not? All right. Okay, fine. So what I'm saying to you is this: is that in Islam, certain signs have to be in place in order for someone to be considered an adult.
Right.
Now, there's a difference between taklif, when you'll be morally accountable in Islam, and because there's a hadith that says, what do you call it, rufi al-qalim an thalath, and one of them is that as-sabiyu hatta yahlub, that the pen has been lifted on 3 people. So there's an eschatological dimension, which is that God doesn't hold to account children.
The pen has been, what do you mean the pen that Allah has in eternal that's next to him? And that's
no, this is more of a metaphoric expression. The pen has been lifted meaning that they're not accountable, right? So the pen has been lifted on 3 sets of people. One of them is the young one until they become pubescent. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, you can be pubescent but not fit for marriage. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying as soon as someone does puberty, they're ready for sex and marriage.
The hadith, there's hadith that say her silence equals her consent.
Okay, let me explain that hadith because you mentioned it a few times. Her silence equals her consent means that if you ask her and she does not object, and out of shyness she's quiet, then that is acquiescence.
Can children be shy or mute?
No, I'm not talking about children.
If they're in a disturbing, I'm talking about children. Because Aisha was a child. That's a fact.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
No, that's what the hadith is saying.
What is a child?
A child is somebody who's younger than 15 according to your religion.
Oh, so no, hold on. According to my religion, it's not actually that. As I said to you. No, it's not true. There's no hadith like that.
Okay.
There's no hadith like that.
Okay.
There's no hadith like that.
No, there's no hadith like that. You heard on camera, he said there was no hadith like that.
There's no hadith like that.
Okay.
It's from, as we said, a child stops being a child if one of 4 things happen.
There's no hadith like that. You heard him say that.
No, let me explain. Can I tell you what the 4 things are? Or do you want to
go? No, I'm listening to you.
Do you want to know or not?
Well, I'm going to read this out.
Do you want to know or not?
I'm going to listen. No, I want to know. I know. Go.
Because at the end of the day, we have to sharpen each other up. If this is the level of argumentation that you're coming with.
Hijab, you told me that there was no hadith mentioning that those younger than 15 are children.
There's no hadith like that.
That's what you told me.
There's no hadith like
so
that.
I'm showing you it.
It's not sahih. It's not authentic.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic.
Okay then.
Because that would have sealed the conversation. The fuqaha have already told you that childhood ends at one of 4 things. One of 3 things for a male and one of 4 things for a woman. The three things for a male are when there's hair, like pubic hair in the areas and so on. If they have a wet dream, or what's the third
okay,
one?
so this is Sahih Muslim, 1868. I've actually got a hadith.
And for the woman, it's menstruation. Yeah.
Right.
So these are.
Can I get to the point now and basically just destroy you on this point?
Please,
can I just do that?
Hold on, let me finish.
I mean, come on. I mean.
Let me finish.
You just lied to your own people.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
So let me just read this out.
Read the hadith.
Right. Sahih Muslim, 1868. The Messenger of Allah inspected me on the battlefield on the day of Uhud. And I was 14 years old.
Okay.
He did not allow me to take part in the fight. He inspected me on the day of Khandak, and I was 15 years old, and he permitted me to fight. Now, he said, I came to Umar bin Abd al-Aziz, who was then caliph, and narrated this tradition to him. He said, surely this is the demarcation between a minor and a major.
Yeah, what is?
A minor's being a child and a major's being someone who's older.
Yeah, what
so
is?
he wrote to his strict governors that he should pay subsistence allowance to anyone who was 15 years old, but should treat those of less age among children.
Okay, let me explain.
Yeah.
So thank you. You said I was lying, you said I was wrong.
What you said
by your own scholars.
No, hold on, can I
And
explain?
it's Sahih Muslim, so it's not even
What you said.
No, I've already finished this debate.
Okay.
But it is what it is.
Fine, you can leave if you like.
No, go ahead, continue.
You're more than welcome to leave.
No, because you've already proven that you've lied, basically.
Okay, you said that the Prophet Muhammad said that anyone below the age of 15 is a child. The hadith didn't say that at all.
It literally says that.
No, it doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say that.
want
Doesn't
to
say
read it
that.
out
Doesn't
again?
say that. No, it doesn't. The hadith does not. The hadith does not. No, so excuse me. Excuse me.
Seriously, I've already read it out twice.
Are you done?
Are you done? I've already read it out
No, I'm not
twice.
done. I haven't started yet, actually. So
Well,
let me answer you.
continue your point,
The
because you're not making
hadith
any
does.
sense right
The
now.
hadith does not state, like you said on camera, and everyone can rewind it and play it and for their own leisure. Yeah. It doesn't say. The hadith does not say that the Prophet Muhammad said in his words that anyone below the age of 15 is a child. The hadith does not say that. All it says was that you had these two boys who one of them had reached the signs of puberty because of pubic hair and so on, and that there was an inference by Nafi' and others, which I already told you, seeped this way into the Maliki school, where they accepted that the upper limit for the age of a child is 15. In fact, if you say that the age of 15 is a child's age, then that would be in my favor, because I'll say to you then that would define
the hadith is
you can marry
quoting Muhammad.
Anyway, look, what I'm
The
saying to you,
hadith is quoting Muhammad.
he didn't say that, but anyone, what did he say? What did he say that?
I've read it out
Go on,
before.
say
The
what
Messenger of Allah inspected me on the battlefield on the day of Uhud,
okay.
and I was 14 years old. He
Right.
did not allow me to take part in the fight.
Yeah.
He inspected me on the day of Kandak.
Okay.
I was 15 years old, and
Okay.
he permitted to fight. Nafi said, I came to Umar bin Ati, who was then caliph, and narrated this tradition to
So where
him.
does it say the Prophet said anyone below the age of
So
15?
what's the tradition, bro?
You just said that. Okay. Did you understand
who
this
gives
guy?
traditions in this
Okay,
one?
you have.
Wouldn't that be
With all
Muhammad?
due respect, you have a comprehension issue here.
No, I
With all
don't.
due respect, because you said that the
This
Prophet
is-
said something. Words.
This is what Muhammad said.
What did he say?
It's a tradition from him.
He didn't say anything in that hadith.
He said, surely this is a demarcation
Who's he?
between
Who's
a
he?
minor
Who's
and a
he?
major.
Who's
It's
he?
not Umar ibn
Snowfat said that.
No, it doesn't say nothing.
It does say that. Read it all again. Read it all again, my friend. No, hold on.
No,
Let
it
me read
says he came to
No,
Umar.
read the whole thing again.
Why am I reading it all again?
No, read it all again. Read it again.
The Messenger
No,
of
hold on,
Allah
hold on. No, I know what it
inspected me on the battlefield on the day of Uhud.
Yes.
And I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
He did not allow me to take part in the fight.
Yeah.
He inspected me on the day of Kandak, and I was 15 years old, and he permitted me to fight.
Yeah.
Nafi said, so he's talking about Nafi now. Yeah, fine. I came to Umar you're going to let me finish the thing. Aziz, who was then caliph, and narrated this tradition to him. Who's the tradition from? Muslims, answer the question. Who's the tradition from?
Come on, please. Do me
No,
a
no,
favor.
answer the question.
No.
Who's the tradition from?
What tradition?
Where do you lot get your traditions from?
Listen, calm down a bit. Calm down, please.
No, Hijab. Where do you get
Calm
your
down,
traditions
please,
from?
calm down.
You
Wait,
get them from
are we
Muhammad.
speaking
So
of
Muslims get
the
their traditions
Prophet
from
in that
Muhammad.
hadith?
So
There's no
Muhammad was saying.
Okay, no, Muhammad didn't say anything in that hadith.
So where did this come from?
Okay, let me explain something to you, please. Yeah? Stop doing this. Just stop. You're showing your own desperation. You're desperado.
There
here.
is no desperation,
You
bro.
are
I'm reading
desperate.
what it
You are
said.
desperate.
Where do your traditions
Okay,
come
let me
from,
explain something to you. For something to be narrated upon the Prophet ﷺ as something that he said, it would have to have key words. The words are like sami'atu, I heard from the Prophet, or qala, or he said. None of those keywords are there.
So why was this written
And as
down?
well.
Why
Yeah.
was this written down?
Let me explain to you. This hadith, even in the English that you've read, does not say, for all the GCSE students that are doing English literature comprehension.
That's funny because you're not even GCSE level at this point.
Fine. I can, I can talk about that. No problem.
It is what it is, bro. It's not my fault you don't understand
I'm
what
not
the
GCSE
tradition
level.
is.
I told my
Because
professors
in
at Oxford
Islam
that.
you have tradition.
When they gave me
most of your
degree.
sources come from traditions.
What are your
Muslims.
qualifications, by the way?
What's my qualifications? Well, I'm a university student. I don't need to tell you the rest of that.
Okay, so you have not graduated yet.
No, I haven't.
All right, I've got 4 degrees,
That's fine.
so I'm higher than you, right?
That means nothing.
So why?
I didn't mean what?
No, you
In
just
psychology.
Hold on.
That means nothing.
No, hold on.
You don't even know what I'm studying. I'm not going to tell you anyway. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
No,
What do you mean, excuse me? It has nothing to do with what I'm
You just said
saying.
I'm GCSE student level, so I had to prove to you that I'm not.
Well, come
higher
on,
than
bring
you.
the degree. You haven't improved anything.
Okay, no problem. I'll bring them
okay,
next
so
time.
now can we get back to the point?
Next thing is, we'll get back to the point.
Because we're just going on a
Since
tangent.
I've now put you in
Right,
your
this
place.
says here.
Now, let's
You
move on.
haven't put me anywhere,
Where did
bro.
the Prophet say it?
He said.
Where did he say it?
He said, surely this